In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to set up CloudFront CDN to live stream to a large audience. A content delivery network is a network of servers distributed across various countries and regions. CDNs deliver content faster and more efficiently compared to relying solely on a single original server. There are technical and financial reasons why CloudFront is better for video delivery at scale. You get 1 terabyte of free data transfer each month. By caching content, CloudFront minimizes data transfer costs, which are higher when delivering directly from EC2, as EC2 has to process every request individually. CloudFront's caching significantly lowers latency for distant viewers, unlike EC2. And finally, CloudFront scales automatically. Even if more people than expected will view your event, CloudFront will take care of them. Let's summarize the benefits. 1. You get 1 terabyte of free data transfer per month. 2. Lower data transfer costs. 3. Shorter latency via caching. 4. Auto-scaling. Now let's get started with our tutorial. Here you can see our running Callaba instance. It's going to act as the origin for CloudFront. And here's the public IP address of this instance. This address is not permanent. It is going to change every time when we stop and start our instance. To avoid that, we're going to assign our instance a permanent IP address, also known as Elastic IP. Click Elastic IPs. In the new page that opens, click Allocate Elastic IP Address. Then click Allocate. Okay, here's our brand new Elastic IP. Let's associate it with our instance. Click Actions, Associate Elastic IP Address. Select your instance, then click Associate. Go back to Instances. Let's refresh the page to see the change we've made. So here's our new Elastic IP address, and now we can log into Callaba using it. Open it in the browser. If you see a warning message, change HTTPS to HTTP. Then you should see Callaba login page. To log in, copy your instance's unique instance ID and use it as password. Login, admin. Now we're going to create our very own CloudFront distribution. A distribution is a configuration of the CloudFront CDN. It's sort of a package of settings that tells CloudFront how to cache and deliver content. Distribution includes settings like origin servers, caching behavior, and security measures. Before we begin, copy public IPv4 DNS of your instance and keep it in the clipboard. Next, look up CloudFront. Click Create a CloudFront distribution. In the form that opens, paste your public IPv4 DNS into the origin domain field. Scroll down to Enable Origin Shield Settings. Click Yes. Select your region from the drop-down list. If your region is not on the list, use this table to determine which region to pick. Next settings are going to differ depending on whether or not you're going to attach domain name and set up SSL certificates. Scroll down to Default Cache Behavior. If you don't plan to set up your own domain name for streaming, leave the HTTPS and HTTP setting unchanged. In case if you want to attach your domain name, SSL, and make your setup look more polished, change it to Redirect HTTPS to HTTP. For allowed HTTP methods, select Get, Head options Put, Post, Patch, Delete. Move to Cache Key and Origin Request section. Select Cache Policy and Origin Request Policy. Then under Cache Policy, select Caching Optimized. Under Origin Request Policy Optional, select All Viewer. Okay, looks like we are done here. Check your settings, then scroll down and click Create Distribution. Here's the domain name CloudFront generated for us. If we don't attach our own domain name, we'll stream via this one. As you can see, our distribution is still being deployed. It really can take a while. refresh the page to see status updates. Wait until the status changes from deploying to a date. Our next section would be about making sure that only CloudFront can access our instance. Shielding origin from outside requests is important as it allows to protect it from being overloaded. To do that, we're going to create a function that will keep security rules of our origin server always updated with addresses belonging to CloudFront and nobody else. Look up IAM. Click Policies. We are now going to create a policy and then a role for executing said policy. Click Create Policy. Go to JSON tab. Select and delete pre-existing code. Then copy and paste the code included in the supporting text of this tutorial, and then click Next. In the new page that opens, create a name for your policy. Make sure you'll be able to remember it later. Also add a description. Once you're done, click Create Policy. Go to Roles. Click Create Role. Select AWS Service. Select Lambda from the Service and Use Case drop-down list. Click Next. Now we're going to assign permissions to our role. Search the name of the policy you've just made and select it. Click Next again. Create a name and a description for the role. Scroll down and click Create Role. Beautiful. In our next step, we're going to use these as a base for our Lambda function. Look up Lambda. In the upper right corner, change your region to US East Northern Virginia. This is important as this is the default region. Now click Create a Function or Manage Functions. In the Create Function page, select Author from Scratch. Create a name for your function. From the Runtime drop-down list, select Python 3.8. Unfold Change Default Execution Role Settings. Under Execution Role, select Use an Existing Role option. Now select the name of the role you've created in the drop-down list below. Alright, good job. Click the orange Create Function button. Now that we've completed the preparatory work, we're ready to create our function. Don't worry, it's straightforward. Just pay close attention and you'll do great. First, copy the function code provided in the text version of this tutorial to your clipboard. Replace existing placeholder code with it. Beautiful. Click Deploy. Once it's done, move to the Configuration tab. Click Edit. In the page that opens, change timeout from 3 seconds to 10 seconds. Save it. Now go to Environment Variables. Click Edit. Now we're going to tie our function with the region our instance is in. Click Add Environment Variable. In the Key field, type Region in capital letters. In the Value field, type the AWS code for the region where your instance is in. If you don't know the code, you can look it up in the AWS Management Console. Check for typos and save. Make sure your result looks like this. We've finished creating our function. Now we are going to test it. Open the Test tab. Create a name for the test event. For the test event, we'll also need some code. Copy the test event code from the text accompanying this tutorial. Replace default JSON with the provided code. Okay, looking good. Click the Save button above. Once it's saved, click Test. You'll see an error message, Execution result failed. Don't worry, that's what we wanted. Click Details to view the contents of the error message. Then find and copy the first MD5 hash from the error message. Let's update our test event. Click Format JSON. And then replace the MD5 hash value with the one you've just copied. Alright, click Save again. Then click Test again. You should get a new success message, Executing Function Succeed. Congratulations! The function is completely finished. Now we are going to see what it has done. Let's go back to the EC2 console. Open Security Groups. Make sure you have your desired region selected. In our case, it's Ireland. Lambda function we've implemented has generated new security groups, which are easily identifiable by their names beginning with auto update. Each group contains the maximum number of rules possible. Now our next step is to assign these new security groups to our instance. Open Instances. Select your instance. Click Actions, Security. Change Security Groups. On this new page that opens, use the search bar to add your new security groups. Click Add Security Group after adding each group. Once you've added all of them, click Save. Okay, back to Instances section again. Select your instance and click the Security tab below. Click the security group name that does not have auto update in its name. Then click Edit Inbound Rules. If you have rules for 22 and 80 port range, delete them. Use the Delete button on the right. And now we're going to create two new rules, one for port range 1935 and another for 1945. Use the Add Rule button at the bottom. Check if your rules look somewhat like these. Once you're done, save your rules. Let's move on to the next part. We're going to use Command Line Interface, also known as CLI, to configure our function's trigger. Then our function is going to receive notifications each time it has to update the list of CloudFront's addresses. The AWS CLI installation process varies by operating system. In the text manual, we've linked instructions for Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Once you've installed AWS CLI, first step is to get access to it. Click on your username and select Security Credentials. Click Create Access Key. In the page that opens, tick the checkbox. Then click Create Access Key once again. Okay, here's your new pair of access key and a secret access key. Click Download CSV file. Keep it somewhere safe. If you lose it, you'll have to delete your key and generate a new one. Okay, awesome. Time to put our new key to good use. Open your terminal or console. Type in AWS Configure. The system will now prompt you for details. Please enter your access key, secret access key, and AWS region ID. Set the default output format to JSON. Okay, we've got access. Now we'll need to grab AWS's unique identifier of our Lambda function, also known as ARN. We're going to use that ARN to execute a few commands. Go back to Lambda and navigate to your function. Locate function ARN and copy it. Next, from the accompanying text, copy the command and put your ARN in the designated place. Execute the command. Okay, almost done. The last command. Now we are going to give the AWS notification service permissions to call the Lambda function. In the provided command, place your ARN in the designated place and execute the command. This concludes part 1 of the CloudFront tutorial. Your CloudFront is now set up for streaming via its domain. If you encounter a 502 error, switch the CloudFront distribution settings to HTTP and HTTPS. In the next part, we'll discuss how to link your own domain name to CloudFront for streaming.